In front of us are scientists in the field of biology who have managed to create this creature in the laboratory. As it grows, it becomes female and forms a connection with the world. Then, after a while, it transforms into a male and establishes a relationship with the female scientist. Welcome to the world of science fiction and suspense. What lies ahead is the world of biology, where Clive and Elsa work for the Newstead Pharmaceuticals Company. Their job is summarized in the company's laboratory, where they are involved in creating new species by merging the DNA of different animals. Their goal is to produce a new type of organism from which they can extract genes that produce proteins used in the company's medications. However, these scientists decide to take it a step further by merging human DNA with animal DNA in order to create genes that can be used in the treatment of human diseases, such as Alzheimer's. This results in the creation of a strange creature, and no one else in the laboratory knows about this because it goes against the company's policy. Clive initially opposes the idea. He wants to get rid of the creature, but the driving force behind it, Elsa, tells him that it has become a reality and that they must subject it to experiments to extract genes that can be used in the treatment of human diseases. They take the creature for experiments and take samples from it, discovering something unusual about it. The creature's cells grow rapidly, meaning that its minutes equal days in human lifespan. One day, Clive prepares food and goes to feed it, but the creature refuses to eat. Elsa tries to feed it sweets, realizing that it has a preference for sugar, and they start feeding it with sugary treats to keep it alive. Days pass, and the creature grows larger, behaving like a small child. Elsa plays with it and attempts to teach it letters, writing her name on a piece of paper. However, the creature writes a different word that matches the one on Elsa's t-shirt. Elsa is delighted, and Clive enters, finding Elsa interacting with the creature as if it were a human child. Every day, Clive becomes increasingly disturbed and questions Elsa about why she allowed the creature to leave the laboratory. He asks her about the room, and she avoids answering directly. He asks her about the creature, and she reveals that she named it Dren. They speak loudly, and the doctor listens to them. Suddenly, the door opens, and Dren attacks the doctor with a knife she took from her napkin. Clive intervenes. She was with her like a small child, as if she were her daughter. She lived as neighbors in the storage and grew over time. What lies ahead is the chairwoman of New Steel Pharmaceuticals, the company where Clive and Elsa work. She is giving a presentation at a conference about the creature that Clive created by merging the DNA of different animals. Elsa talks about the result of merging DNA from different animals, which led to a male and female engaging in a violent struggle, eventually resulting in their deaths, leaving everyone in shock. Afterward, the chairman of the board meets with Clive and Elsa and asks them what happened. Clive and Elsa explain that the two animals were supposed to be male and female, but the female changed her gender, leading to the violent confrontation. The chairman questions how this happened, and they admit they don't know yet and plan to consult the doctor who helped create the creature. She insists they move Dren from the place because it's dangerous, and the company could find out at any time. So they decide to take her to the abandoned farmhouse owned by Elsa's family, packing her in a crate to keep her hidden from view and drive her there in a car. When they arrive at the farmhouse, Dren starts running, and they chase after her, looking for her. They find her sitting, holding a rabbit and eating it. They enter and Elsa tells her, "Dren, don't run away from me again." But Dren remains standing and seems uncomfortable. The next day, Clive takes a day off from work to avoid suspicion and goes to see Dren, who is still standing and looking uneasy. He is surprised that she seems to understand letters and words. She writes a word with the letters, indicating that she is upset. Clive is puzzled, and Elsa stands nearby. Dren then writes another word, indicating that she wants to leave. However, Elsa tells her no. Dren becomes agitated and starts overturning things on the table, but Elsa calms her down and they leave her alone. Later, Dren is found hanging from a rope, and she breaks through the ceiling and escapes. Clive goes up to the roof to talk to her and asks her to come down. Dren tries to fly away, but Clive convinces her to come back, and she lands on him. The next day, Clive goes to work, and Elsa is with Dren. She applies makeup to Dren, and he finds her sitting and crying, and Clive goes to play music to cheer her up and starts dancing with her. While they are together and dancing, something peculiar happens in your mind. Life. When you see her singing and acting like a human, Clive leaves her and goes away. What Life tells her, while feeling troubled, is that it's the human DNA present in Dren. So, you might ask, what's the problem? But Clive is very disturbed and leaves her. He goes to get a tablet for Dren and finds her. Still, she attacks Elsa, though she doesn't harm her, and takes the key from her to unlock the door. However, she hits her from behind and leaves her lying on the table. She removes her dress and cuts the last piece of her tail, thinking she has cut off her stinger. Clive goes back and is shocked by what Dren is still doing. He asks her, "What are you doing?" She tells him that she is doing what was supposed to happen a long time ago and takes the cut piece from her tail and leaves. Clive stays with Dren, and Elsa goes back to the laboratory. Meanwhile, Clive sits and watches the surveillance cameras of Dren and finds her. She is in the water, looking at the moon as if she sees it. Clive tries to get up, closing the laptop. He goes to Dren's location and finds her standing there without clothes. She tries to seduce him, but he resists. The flashlight holder falls into the water, making a noise as he tries to grab it. He falls into the water as well, and Elsa gets out. However, she finds Dren coming out of the water. They think she's dead. On Saturday, she starts crying, and they bury her and burn her belongings and toys. Suddenly, your brother, Life, and their manager arrive at the place where Dren's Earth starts moving. Suddenly, the manager disappears from among them, and when they look, they find him dead on a tree. Dren, who has turned into a male, goes and stands above her, and she asks him, "What do you want?" He says he wants to have a relationship with her. At this moment, Clive intentionally calls her, but Dren takes the knife from him and attacks Clive. They both fall to the ground. But then, she hits Dren on the head with a rock, but he doesn't die, and she pulls out the stinger she had planted in Life's heart and kills him. Then she hits him again on the head with a rock, killing him, but she is still alive. However, she is pregnant with Dren, and it ends like that. I hope you enjoyed the movie, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and like the video.